Alright guys, so not to make it too R-rated, but this review will be a little more light-hearted. Because the Guardians movies in general have been very light-hearted. And that's what I love about them. And we are back with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And this one isn't as good as the first one, but it's still... Who the hell wrote this? Okay, I haven't done this before. Usually I look at my notes, but I'm not going to look at my notes for this one. Just so you know, this one, in my opinion, over time, I've come to the opinion that this one is better than the first one. In not all areas, but a lot of areas. So, I'm not going to look at my notes for this one. So, this movie has a theme, right, going throughout it. That theme being family. And the characters that this theme sort of stems from is Peter and his family, Nebula and Gamora and their family issues, and some slight stuff with Drax. Now there's also some emotional moments with Rocket and Yondu that sort of tie into family, but in general don't have anything to do with family, but it's still worth mentioning because it is very emotional and I wouldn't say like worthy of crying too, but you know, it's very heartwarming. So the story going on with Peter and his father, Ego, played by Kurt Russell, and I will say I love Kurt Russell and all his Kurt Russell isms. Just the way he delivers dialogue, sometimes it's very funny. And it's like, I don't know, that one scene where they're talking about how Yondu would threaten to eat Peter. And he's like, oh, that son of a bitch. I just love how he says it. It's so Kurt Russell, and it's awesome. That, though, their father-son thing had its emotional moments. But it was actually the side stories, so their story was more central, but the side stories, like with Nebula and Gamora, actually, that one specifically actually got me in tears a lot more than any of the others. Also, like Drax's one is more of references. Like there's scenes, only a couple, that sort of reflect on his past with his family, and it is quite emotional. Also, the stuff with Rocket and Yondu, all that stuff was great. I could find nowhere to put this this side note that I had in my head. But has anyone noticed how this movie is kind of like a video game? Like it has a lot of video game themes and aspects in it. It's kind of like the first one was all about music from the 80s, 90s, whatever. This one, it has a lot of gaming stuff going on with it, like the gold people, I can't remember their name. Their ships are remotely controlled with like arcade sound effects and all that. Yeah, it's just a weird side note. I couldn't find anywhere else to put that, and it's completely random, but it's there. What else was I gonna talk about? I had something in mind. I don't know if it was in my notes, but... okay, so... This movie, in a lot of ways, does fall under the... does fall into Marvel's problem with comedy. It uses a lot of comedy. Some of it... I will say most of it doesn't work. Only some of it does. And this is a reoccurring problem. Marvel keep using more and more comedy, and the more and more they do is just the more jokes don't actually affect. Like, they're not funny. Which is fine for this movie because I go into this movie with something else in mind, and that's the family theme, right? That's the emotion that this movie has. This movie has a lot of jokes, probably the most in any Marvel movie, the most in any other Marvel movie except Thor Ragnarok. These two have Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 have so many jokes. But I go into this movie for the emotion. And I will say I like this movie a lot more than the first Guardians because it has a lot more emotion. It delves deeper into the characters and their stories, I guess. Holy shit, I can't believe it. I have to go back and look at my notes. It was meant to look dramatic, but all I did was just close the window. But I'm gonna quickly go back to this for 1 second. Just hold on. I'm almost there. I'm trying to look. No, what I had in mind was not in my notes. I can't remember what it was. Holy shit. I don't know. I can't remember. Well, I guess that's it for this review, guys. I can't remember what I was going to say. This is going to bite me in the ass, right, later on. I'm going to remember what it is, and I'm not going to be able to come back and do it. So, overall, I like this movie. It does fall into... This is my overview now, okay? It does fall into the problem of having too much comedy, but it explores its characters It explores its characters more than the first movie and has a lot more of an emotional punch this time around than the first movie, which is why I go into this movie, and that's about it. It has a lot of emotion, a lot of jokes. The jokes are not why I go into it. Just dragging it on. Okay, that's it. I'll see you guys later. I remember now. Everything's like I'm about to pack up, but I remember what it is. Yondu's side story is exactly the same as Merle from The Walking Dead. That's it. It's the same. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I loved it. I loved him in that, and I loved him in this. So, yeah. I'm gonna pack up now anyway. See ya.